Well, once again, it's Christmas time and this is Indigenous Bites. And today on the program, I'm going to show you how to make a delightful, non-traditional Christmas appetizer that you can serve to your families and friends. This is essentially a tostones with a spicy fish topping. First up, we're going to prepare a nice spicy fish topping for this, which is going to be infused by loads of fresh herbs. That's the key to making this really tasty and really delicious. So I've got some fillets and I'm going to put this into some boiling water that's already been infused with some dry herb seasoning. Of course, when you're purchasing these dried herb seasonings, make sure they've got no MSG in them and they are all natural. So I'm going to put my fish to gently simmer and they're going to steam and it should be cooked in about 5 minutes. So while the fish is steaming, I'm going to work on my tostones. And tostones is a Spanish Caribbean dish made with twice fried plantains. Now you're going to need green plantains, as green as you can possibly get them. And what we have to do is peel them up, slice them, we fry them, then pound them and then fry them again. It takes a little bit of time, but the results in the end are really quite superb. So I've got my plantains and I'm going to peel up. And how do you do this? Well, you make sure you oil your fingers really well before you touch plantains or green figs if they're pretty green. And you want to make some light slits along the skin and then move your finger up along the plantain so that you kind of remove the peeling parts. It's a little tough, so it may give you a little bit of a challenge, but it's okay. Work through it, and then your plantains are going to be totally peeled. And we want to cut these into about 1/2 inch thick slices. So once that's happening, I'm going to heat up some oil in my frying pan. Of course, I'm using coconut oil. And I'm going to start to fry my plantain pieces or my plantain slices. And once they've gotten turned color, now plantain is something that starts off being like a pinky, creamy color, and then when it's boiled, it gets this magnificent, bright yellow color. So of course, once that starts to happen in the pot, kind of fried a little bit. You don't want to fry them so that they are totally cooked all through. We want to take those off. And then we start to pound them. And I'm using a meat pounder to pound my plantains, right? We pound them until they're about maybe 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch thick. And then we refry them again. So we continue that process until all the plantains have been fried. Meanwhile, my fish has been steamed, so I'm going to take that off and put it into a plate and let that cool for a bit. And my plantains are all fried up nicely, so my tostones are all done. Now you can serve these as they are with the sprinkling of salt as an appetizer or cutter once you're enjoying your drinks or your festive times. Or you can use them in an appetizer as we're doing today. So let's go and make that delightful spicy fish topping now. For my spicy fish topping, of course, I've got my steamed fish, but I'm using quite an array of fresh herbs. I've got some fresh basil, I've got some parsley, and I've got quite a bit of tarragon. And tarragon, I love tarragon, so whenever I see it in the market, I do buy a bunch. It's got a beautiful anise sort of smell to it and taste as well that it imparts to whatever it is you put it into. And it's quite exotic, but also quite delicious as well. It's not a harsh tasting herb, it's a soft tasting herb, so it just gives you a lovely subtle flavor in there. And of course I'm putting some green on some size, which I've sliced up some fresh size, and of course a good bit of pepper sauce and some mayo and some mustard, which is also going to work really nicely in there. So once you put everything together in the food processor, we want to whiz that around until everything gets nicely broken up and smooth. And of course, we finish that up with a good squeeze of lime. So once the fish is nicely spiced up, of course, you want to taste it to make sure it's nicely balanced and correct. You're ready to serve your tostones. That's the time you should really spoon your fish on it. Don't do it before because it may get a little bit soggy on you. And of course, you garnish with a nice bit of fresh herbs and that's ready to be enjoyed. It's really easy. It's really tasty and festive for this Christmas season. And to everyone out there, have a very wonderful Merry Christmas.